Namaste, hello, welcome to NCERT's special live phone-in program, SAHYOG, Guidance for Mental Well-Being of the Children. Well, we are dealing with COVID-19, all of us, and there are problems, there are challenges with all of us, including the children with learning disabilities. This is what we are going to discuss in this session. Children with learning disability, mental well-being and challenging behavior. So we're going to talk about this in detail for next half an hour. If you have any questions, if you know somebody near you who is dealing with the learning disability and they need some help, you can always go to the NCERT's website, which is www.ncert.nic.in. There is a list of counselors updated and their contact details are there. You can always contact them and talk to them and solve all the issues you are having or anyone else is having, including the children with learning disabilities. So we're going to discuss this. Like I said, if you have any questions and you want to ask something, then please join in with our live session. You can watch our session on PME Vidya channel number 1 to 9 and also on channel number 11 and 12. Apart from this, you are watching us on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. In the live chat box, you can write your questions, your queries, and our experts, they'll be answering all of them for sure. So let's meet our expert. We have with us Mr. B. Umesh Kumar Sharma. Welcome, sir.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, sir. Sir is from Northeast Regional Institute of Education, NCERT, Shillong. And along with him, we have one more expert. We have Miss Lal Rem Ruat Kimi. Ma'am, welcome to our program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. She is a practicing counselor. So let's begin with this discussion without wasting any more moment. And my first question would be to you, sir. Sir, who are these children with learning disabilities? Can you please explain it to our viewers? And also, what are these challenges we are going to talk about in this particular session that are related to the mental well-being of these children?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ms. Tanvi, for inviting me in this forum and also bringing up a very important topic. We'll try to discuss as much as possible within this half an hour.
Yeah.
At first, I must say that the term learning disability is the word using more by school teachers and staff to get a student who are struggling with learning. Sometimes they also call as slow learner. So by taking the opportunity of this forum, I wish to convey a clarification message that learning disability and slow learner are different, not same. To discriminate these differences, I'll give in a brief how to discriminate these two. We know that what we consider as average is 90 to 110. If a student who is facing difficulty in learning, problem is not in all areas, but only in some specific areas like processing language, spoken or written. And it faces itself as a difficulty to comprehend, speak, read, write, spell, or to do mathematical calculations. And importantly, their IQ more than 90, it means average or above average. Then they're probably learning disability. You might be knowing that perceptual disabilities, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, developmental aphasia are conditions of learning disabilities. But for slow learners, I lesser than 90, but above 70. The difference between learning disability and slow learner is that slow learner exhibit difficulties in all the subject areas, whereas learning disability manifest only in some specific areas. Therefore, when we refer to learning disability, we use the term SLD, means specific learning disability. If you see Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, which in short RPWD Act 2016, you will find this term. When we talk about mental well-being and challenging behavior, I would mention some of the issues and challenges we are experiencing. Firstly, unmotivated to learn. Unmotivated to learn. Achievement level is low relative to their capabilities. They do not begin assignment or incomplete. They make negative statement about the school, about the teacher, about the subject, and about the family. Secondly, inattention. You know that they are easily distracted, unfocused, impulsive, and generally inattentive. They may daydream, oftenly, sometimes they appear hyperactive also. Thirdly, I'll mention about violence and vandalism. In this, they engage in physical force to injure or cause pain to others or themselves. So next is about cheating. It is a very common to most of the children with learning disability. Not only with learning disability, of course, it is with other general student also. For children with learning disability, mainly when we focus on, it is due to their failure and pressure from teacher and from their parents, family members.
Okay.
So because of this reason, they started copying from others or using great notes or they take credit for someone else's work or deliberately break the rules. And next is about inadequate social skill. It is a big challenge for them. They have unusual difficulty establishing and maintaining interpersonal relationships, and they persistently exhibit characteristics like shy or withdrawal. Difficulty in initiating social interactions, avoid asking and answering questions, and have difficulty sharing and cooperating with others. You will be observing attention six. This is also a most common challenging behavior with them. They draw attention to themselves by cloning, talking clearly, and interrupting others, and so on. And they show off frequently. Show off frequently. It is a very common for them also. And lastly, low self-esteem. This is one of the most concerned factor of their mental well-being, and also about their challenging behavior.
Okay.
Here, they may make self-deprecating remarks, set unrealistically high goals. Say, they do not know that how much they can do. They do not know that how far they can go ahead. In spite of that, they'll set their own some goal, some target, and if they are not able to do that, they'll be feeling that, yeah, I cannot do this, I am a failure, like that. So this kind of things are very much common with them, and we need to give proper guidance for them how to overcome all these kind of issues.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you for the introduction and for the challenges you explained. My next question would be to ma'am. Ma'am, it is definitely difficult for the children with learning disabilities, but it's equally difficult for the families of these children. So, why is mental well-being so important in this whole picture?
Yes, thank you again so much for having me. Sir has mentioned what learning disability is, and he also talked about the issues and challenges faced by the children with learning disabilities. And we all know that learning disabilities are common, and many children with learning disabilities have considerable and often multiple mental health problems. They face extra stress, and while many may cope well, there are significant challenges for these children and their families in maintaining their mental health throughout their childhood and also into their adulthood. Living with learning disabilities make it harder to form friendships, and children can become anxious or frustrated or angry about the barriers that prevent them from having an ordinary life. They may find that medication, appointments, and lack of access to activities may interfere with their ability to do the things they want to do. Dealing with pain or struggling to do these things independently can have a long-term effect on their well-being. So, as we all know, and what's from what Sir has mentioned, mental health problems in people with learning disabilities are more common than in the rest of the population, with a point prevalence of 30%, while in the rest of the population it is only 25%. So, mental well-being is very important for children with learning disabilities because it affects their mental well. It affects their development, it affects their learning processes. So, to maintain a mental well being, a good well being is very important for these children.
Okay. Ma'am, are there separate schools which are completely devoted to these children with learning disabilities who are working entirely on these children?
Yes, there are.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sir,
Yeah.
because this is an important topic, and you are definitely talking about it, but me as a common man, as a common person, how can I support these children and their behaviors and their mental well-being?
Yeah, well, Mr. Ambitious, actually many technical process are there, but by ignoring all those things, since there are viewers who are common men, so I will use the term which is known by a common man. Also, I will try to some important techniques how to overcome and how to support them.
Okay.
So here, just I'll mention only few. Please don't mind for that because I think we have another 15-minute program. So here, what I like to mention first is that maths academic task and student skills. This is a very much important. Say whether it is a parent or whether it is a teacher or whether it is a school staff. Whenever we plan anything, whenever we decide any kind of introduction of the content or any kind of test, everything should be matched with the level of that learner. Once we have identified or we have matched up with their level, easily we can build up or we can fill this breath which is already lacking with them. So right, just I would like to discuss something about how to do that. First thing is about we have to modify the curriculum. The curriculum includes everything like what are the contents, what are the examples that we are going to use, and what are the modes that we are going to through which we are going to present. Also, we have to speak about the pattern of the evaluation testing, and if it is testing, in which mode we have to go. And if we are selecting a mode, what are the relaxations to consider for them? This is also an important thing. Once we have modified about the content in presentation, simply what we can do is that we can plan something like say if the style ability is up to this, then we cannot go for so focus is about that base level. That's the reason what we have to do is that basic learning standard that we have to find out, and also we have to find out about learning style of that individual. Not only of that individual means that student, we have to understand about our learning style also. Once we know about our learning style, it is very easy to frame how to present it, also how to use the resources. Mainly, it will be reflected in planning. This is the first point I would like to mention, but unfortunately, this part is ignoring, skipping from our schools. So first thing is about we have to identify the learning style, and second thing is about to identify the preferences of the student, to find out the preferences of the student. And if we find the preferences of the student, and if we find the learning style of the student, also if we find the basics of learning at a particular stage, if we find these 3 points about that student, easily we can modify, we can plan. So some of the points which I would like to highlight it, and where we have to modify is that identify reinforcers is very much important. This can be anything which is preferred by the learner. Also, something is about reward on task behavior. This is a very important. This in this kind of thing, what we are doing is that we are relating directly to the assigned task. Directly relating to the assigned task means to the objective that we have set. And next thing is about we have to plan for point system. Point system is psychologists are using it. In another word also we can call it as a token economy is there. It is one example of that. So in this, what we are doing is that we provide a point or token for completing its task. Means when we plan and when we implement, all the tasks we are breaking down into small.
Right.
So whenever he completed one small task, we are providing or we are assigning 1 point for that or 1 token for that. That also has to be displayed to him. We have to display this thing so that it can student can see about his progress. And next thing is about successive approximation.
Okay.
Successive approximation is very much useful for learning disability. It can be useful for every children. Here, one task, one goal we have set, and we have break down all the task components. And for going or for progressing from one task to another task, before that, when he is completing one stage, that time we are giving reinforcement. We are giving some kinds of reward for him.
Okay.
And next thing is about emphasize practical learning. See, you know, in India, what we are doing, all the things are content based. We are not thinking about application. So we have to think about application. See, like whatever content, whatever questions we have introduced in the class, that has to be applied in his or her real life, real situation. That would be main thing. And also, if we introduce a topic on the basis of his experience on his practice,
Right.
learn better, because he will be continuing it. This is very much important. And one more very much effective one is that contract.
Okay.
Contract. We have to keep a contract with the student. Say, if you do this within this time, this will be or this will be your reward. Something like that. Otherwise, if you didn't do if you are not doing this thing, what could be the consequences? All these things has to be discussed with the student, and we have to plan.
Okay. All right.
And yeah,
Sure.
and most importantly, if the child is having some kind of like antisocial behavior, or if he's talking, or if he's disturbing in the classroom or something like that, main thing is that we have to go for private talk. Private talk is very much important because he or she may not be one to disclose or discuss with other friends or openly.
Okay.
That time, private is very much important.
Okay. All right.
And
Okay, sir.
yeah, but I would like to focus on aggression. Aggression is also a very much important area here, because when you see or when you meet or when you teach a student with learning disability, you will be observing, you'll be experiencing, because of many reasons, they are having aggressive behavior. How to control that? For that, what we can do is that just I'll try to shorten my presentation. So first thing, just I'll mention about situational changing is required.
Sure.
First thing is about
Sir,
situational changing is required. In the
let ma'am add a few points in the same discussion. Ma'am, do you have anything to say that how can we support the students with learning disabilities so that their well-being could be improved, and especially the learning process in this wake of COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, first of all, I would like to talk about how to support children with learning disability and how we can improve their well-being, how we can help them improve their well-being. First of all, these children with learning disabilities, they are having problem with uh, processing information, receiving information, and retaining information. So their strengths lie in something else as compared to ordinary children. So it is very important to focus on the strength of the children rather than focusing on their weakness, and that will help them uh, to promote uh, to promote their self-esteem, their self-confidence, and it is very important to celebrate their success, whether it's big or small. And we need to be very patient with them because these children, they may find it hard to complete a task, like even simple tasks, and they may take time to they may take much more time as compared to the ordinary children, and we need to be patient with them. So, and we need to show unconditional love for them because children, sometimes they are very insecure and they are finding it hard to express themselves. So they need to feel safe in the environment. They need to feel safe and secure in the environment. And we need to help them, as I mentioned before, we need to help them build their self-confidence and resilience. Even if they fail, we need to encourage them. And it's very important to about criticizing. Like if when we criticize the child, uh, we may bring them down. So it's very important to criticize the behavior and not the child. For example, when they do something bad, instead of saying you are a bad boy or you are a bad girl, you can say that this is a bad action. What you do is bad. Is a bad thing. So it's very important to criticize the behavior and not the child. And improving learning processes. As we all know, schools have been closed since April, and classes have been switched to online teaching and online studying. And we are all trying very hard to cope with this, what we call the new normal. And while students and children without learning disabilities can cope with this new normal, online teaching and all, it's very hard for children with learning disabilities to cope and to understand all the changes that's happening so fast. So here it is very important that we adjust the curricula in favor of them, in favor of children with learning disabilities, and making instructions more simple. Like when we give them homework, we can give them audio clips, and we can allow the children to dictate instead of asking them to type. And implementation of project-based learning, like what Claire has mentioned before, it has been found out that implementation of project-based learning uh, has is seen to promote self-esteem and positive engagement. So project-based learning is very good for children with learning disabilities.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, we've got just 1 minute left. So before we wrap up, can you tell us a few common signs so that we can understand that this child has some learning disability?
Uh, I think Umesh sir can answer that.
Sir, would you like to answer that?
ma'am, please say it again.
Any common signs for the common people to understand, and even of the parents of these children can understand that these children are suffering from learning disabilities?
Yeah, means you are asking that some common tips for the parents, some common people, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have much time left, so please a few tips for the parents as well.
Okay, okay. So then just I'll take only 1 minute.
Okay.
Here, what we can give to the parents or some to the family members is that we have to plan for a regular routine. That routine also should be prepared, planned along with the children. That's also important because they will be knowing and they will also be able to include what they want to do like that. And also, next thing is about we have to have open conversation, open discussion with the children because so that they can express whatever feelings they have and what they want. Also, the next thing is that just I would like to mention something here, like for children who are prone for cheating or dishonesty, what we have to do is that just try to analyze why they're cheating, why they're telling lie, and why they're having a tendency to be cheating. So this thing has to be analyzed from the situation where it is occurring. And also we need to go for about main things about we have to discourage about negative private dialogues, right? Always they are saying that it is not with anyone, it is talking by themselves. They are saying that, oh, I am a bad boy, no, I am not able to learn these things, so I cannot do like them. This thing has to be removed. It is main thing. So in that case, we have to motivate him by rectifying the wording which is using. Also, all the things which is saying that I am not able to do. Instead of the things he cannot do, we have to motivate him to say that what he can do. Likewise, we can improve the security, the self-esteem of those kind of learners.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. We don't have
Thank
much time left, so we have to wrap up this session right here. Thank you once again to you and to ma'am as well for explaining to us that how sensitive is this topic about children with learning disabilities, and we need to learn the certain things surrounding around these children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you to all the students as well for watching this session. This was one of the important topics to be covered, and like I always say, if you have any questions, you can always share with us on ciet.kishoremanch@gmail.com. Keep on sending your questions because we bring you the subjects, the topics on daily basis for various classes. So keep on watching the NCERT's online resource material. These sessions are really, really useful to you. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay protected. Namaste.